to the site from Central is to the integration of a new footbridge. So what we are proposing is a new footbridge connection, which is bringing us from the mid-level escalators through a new footbridge at the parade ground. And then after that, what we are aiming to do is a straight connection, which goes through the barracks block, underneath those buildings, up to the prison yard, and therefore providing at least the opportunity to have a straight connections to the activities of the prison yard. I mean, all of you who've been on site, you know that it's an interesting walk, which would always be possible to have, but to provide this straight link is also allowing us to revitalize the site in a very special way. Now, the yellow here is the existing fabric of the site, or the existing circulation path on the site, and the orange are the new, what we are bringing new on site. This is what the footbridge proposal would look like from the double escalators. And this is what this section looks like. So this is the main entrance from the footbridge, the access under the barracks block, A hall, B hall, and the prison yard. So this is what the new connection to the city looks like. So we have a site that is fully connected. And that for us is very important, even before we start talking about buildings. Now that we have those buildings, now that they are providing the connection to the city, how do they connect to the existing? How can they help in the revitalization of the existing buildings? Well, they just need to connect to them. We use the same fabric, the same kind of ideas that are present on site. There are several of those footbridges that are connecting the barracks block to A hall, for an example, and we want to reuse that concept again and connect those buildings through bridges. So this is the Arbuthnot wing, which is meant to be a multi-purpose space. And if we can start thinking about different kind of scenarios, we could think of E hall as being a support space, a foyer, to the multi-purpose space for very special events, for grand events, where we need a lot of space, where we need people to gather in a certain area before they enter the space. And the same could be true for D hall, maybe for smaller events. We talked about maybe archives or library. Well, we could very much think that in the case of lectures or various kind of presentation, D hall could be used as a pre-function to access the multi-purpose space. So also it gives access, or it gives direct access for those two buildings to the to Arbuthnot wing, and therefore to their tenants as well. So this is the multi-purpose space, the link to E hall, the link to D hall, which are possible. The same is true for F hall and Old Bailey wing. I think we've got a fantastic gallery space on F hall that we're aiming to do here, and to reuse as much as the existing as possible. And we could totally connect the F hall gallery with our new build, the mid gallery and the main galleries. I think I could go in more detail after when you have questions. But I think here it might kind of make sense to spend a bit of time on that section. This is the prison yard right here, and this is the main entrance to the new build, or the foyer space. Here we have a shop and cafe at the bottom of that hall. The access to the new build, or to the new functions, is done through the new build. So we access the first level here. The F hall gallery is there, mid-level gallery, the restaurant and the public spaces, and the main gallery on top. I think it's important to say that HDM is not we're not just building two new buildings. We're also looking at the site holistically. So we are looking at it. We are doing quite a lot of site interventions. We're fully involved with the hardscape and landscape of the project, I think one of the aspects that this slide is showing is the extent of the new hardscape that we're intending to bring on site, which is the red, to the existing hardscape, which is the gray. So everything that has historical value or that has aesthetic value, we decided to keep. And all the areas that needed to be revitalized, we decided to link those spaces through the use of a similar hardscape pattern and landscape pattern. Now, one thing that is important to understand with the landscape topic or aspect is that I think it's very important to keep the character of the site and to not overflow the site with landscape. I think this is something also we could discuss with Michael later. But I believe what AGM is proposing here is a green wall, which is roughly 900 square meter of green wall to be located on the existing prison wall and the prison yard. We're also suggesting to bring new trees here to replace the existing ones that were damaged a few years ago in a storm, and we're intending also to preserve the existing trees present on site. So these are the kind of studies we do in the design process of a hardscape or a landscape. We first go through a survey. We look at the site, at examples that are inspiring to us and that do make sense by their functionality. They just work, so we should just use them or reinterpret them in a very special way. And this is how we come to create an hybrid or a certain language of vocabulary which we hope will inform the visitors as much as a sign on the wall. We would like that hardscape to be communicative to the people. So this is a view of the old prison yard as it is right now, and this is what we're hoping it could be. So this is the green wall that we're proposing. There's a public bench that we're expecting to put all along the prison yard. We're expecting to replace and revitalize the benches around the existing trees. And this is just a view of what the hardscape could be. The same is true with the facade of our new buildings. I don't think, we don't want them necessarily to come on site and to bring a facade that comes from nowhere. We want to be inspired by the site. We want to be inspired by the materiality of the site. So we went around and I believe we were, as many people, very humbled and experienced and impressed by the prison yard and by the nature of the prison yard, the scale of the material, the layout of the material. And this is what we are trying to do here with the facade of our buildings. I believe we're trying to use a materiality which is inspired from the existing, but that doesn't try to mimic the past. It really tries to bring well, first of all, it tries to really define the building as a new site intervention. It is a new building. It is not an historical building. This being said, the scale of its material and the texture is very much respectful of what we find on site. The same can be seen on Arbuthnot Wing during the day and at night. View from the prison yard, FL, the relationship it could have, and really the new life. This is just a glimpse of the kind of life we're aiming for the site. Thank you.